Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease where the body's own immune system is attacking the beta cells. The immune system in type 1 is really the attacker, it's really the bad guy that we need to retrain to become, again, accustomed to beta cells. The product of Imcyse, the imotopes, where we're trying to reorganize the immune system, is a very interesting approach to do that.
Imcyse has been founded about 10 years ago as a spin-off of the Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium. The company was then relocated to Liège, where it's based today, and it has really taken on the task to develop these imotopes as a way of treating patients with autoimmune diseases.
Like a lot of things in research, it was a bit by hazard that it was discovered initially. By doing experiments in allergy, they found something not really normal and expected. And they explored why it was not normal, and they discovered a new way of working that could be very interesting to develop proactively.
T cells are part of a lot of immune processes. What we discovered is that we could modify the function of the CD4 T cells. When we treated animals with such modified sequences, we could control all the inflammatory processes and all the autoimmune attack against the organism.
Imcyse is developing a class of molecules that we call imotopes. Imotopes are basically modified, naturally occurring epitopes derived from autoantigens that are responsible for autoimmune disorder. What we do is we take the naturally occurring epitope, modify them in a specific way, and create this new type of cells called cytolytic CD4 cells that are then able to kill the part of the immune system that is responsible for these autoimmune diseases.
We are really developing a specific treatment with Immotope that will act only on the autoimmune response that is linked to the disease without impacting the rest of the immune system.
The Immotope technology lends itself to be applied in a broad range of autoimmune diseases. In fact, we have looked at hundreds of different diseases where we believe it can be applied. We decided to go first with type 1 diabetes. We feel that the technology has a special benefit in this disease.
We have no cure for type 1 diabetes. We have no way to prevent type 1 diabetes. The Imcyse approach is a very interesting approach because it affects the effector T cells, those T cells that are attacking the beta cell. All of the other approaches have mainly been targeting regulator T cells, and it makes us really hopeful that this could have an effect in type 1 diabetes.
Imcyse has for the first time tested Immotope in human beings in type 1 diabetes starting in 2017, and we finished this very first study mid-2019. We had very good safety results, but the next step is now to demonstrate that we will have some effectiveness of the product in type 1 diabetes patients.
So with the phase 1 we made, we have already be able to identify some biomarkers and the immune response of a patient when he receives the product. So it will allow us to better understand the way those immotopes, those peptides, act on the human immune system.
Jusqu'à 3 mois, c'est-à-dire...
The results of the recently concluded type 1 diabetes study were very encouraging, and we presented those results to a very broad audience. And based on these interactions, the Inodia network became interested enough to invite us to become member of that prestigious group.
Imcyse came to Inodia because it is a consortium of academic partners, but also of foundations, JDRF and Helmsley Trust, of an SME, and also of pharmaceutical companies. Using the whole network of Inodia, we hope to really refine their treatment into a very efficacious and safe treatment for people with newly diagnosed type 1 diabetes.
What are you expecting from such product on your side as a patient?
I think it's very important because this product could be very selective for immunotherapy. Inside Inodia, there is a patient advisory committee to advise, to make comments at every level of the study, to ensure that the strategy of Inodia are aligned with the goal of people living with type 1 diabetes. The patient advisory committee will be in close relationship with Imcyse.
We are really striving to develop cures for autoimmune diseases, and we're doing our utmost to engage with representatives of the affected population to make sure that these cures reach patients as soon as possible.
The very next step for Imcyse in clinical development is type 1 diabetes. But we have other projects that are in the pipeline and that are close to clinical development, and probably the next one could be multiple sclerosis.
At Imcyse, we have assembled a group of very talented individuals from all over the world that are working relentlessly day and night to really develop these molecules into products for patients.
When a patient is diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, he knows it's for the rest of its life. If you can do something to stop the progression of their disease and the progression of their disabilities, that is really something you want to wake up every morning for.
I think it is the dream of every researcher to have this fundamental research coming to the clinical level with good hope that it will really have a big impact on the patient life.